We're recording today live at the 2025 TEDCO Expo. My name is Frew with BioBuzz Networks. We're here interviewing industry leaders in the Maryland innovation ecosystem about what's happening here today in Maryland. It's my pleasure to be talking with Bret Schreiber, Senior Vice President of Life Sciences and Technology at Fulton Bank. Bret, welcome.
Chris, thank you, and thanks for BioBuzz for doing this again this year. You really play an integral role in terms of stimulating and promoting and creating awareness of what's happening throughout the state and the region when it comes to life sciences. So thank you for having us here today.
Well, we appreciate it. Really, thanks for us, Bret.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as we begin, tell us a little bit about Fulton Bank and the work that you do.
Yeah, so we are a $34 billion financial institution located in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, D.C. And we do banking all over the world, but I run a specialty practice that's specifically geared towards supporting early stage life science and technology-based companies. So we do debt and equity capabilities, and the idea is that we're trying to serve a unique niche that other banks and other funding entities aren't really fulfilling in the state and the region. So we've really created a process that tries to get in early with the company. And we're not going to be first dollar in, but we can be very early stage. And the idea is to kind of surround that company with resources from capital, connections, and really just sort of advice and counsel how to really grow and really get to the next level, get to the next step. So we've been pretty successful. We've got 220 companies in the portfolio now. Over the past 5 years, we've deployed over $67 million. We're on track to deploy $21 million this year, which would be a record in terms of trying to take capital for early stage companies in the region.
Capital is so important to an entrepreneurial journey and any business journey, especially in life sciences and technology. With working with so many entrepreneurs and startups, I'm sure you hear a lot about what's going on in the capital environment and the startup environment. So with everything happening today, both nationally and here locally, what are some of the things you're hearing?
Well, you know, it's a little uneasy right now. I think before this year, the saying was survive to 25, and then everything happened on the federal level, and there was so much uncertainty. Funding was going on to a lot of the major funding agencies. Obviously, NIH had some different policies that were directly impacting colleges and universities. And even though funding is starting to come back, it's not coming back in a uniform way. Different agencies are still funding differently. Still a big question mark in terms of whether colleges and universities will be able to recruit some of the research costs, which is a major incubator for what's next in terms of technology. So it's greater uncertainty. I think when the market was going to expect VCs and angel investors to be funding this year, they're not. New report just came out that showed the pitch book that showed VC support within Baltimore, the state of Maryland. Even though funding is up, the amount of deals are cut in half, which shows some of that funding is still sitting on the sidelines. And the funding that did go up was only to 2 or 3 major deals. So it's created a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace, and I think a lot of companies are uncertain on where to go. That uncertainty also creates opportunities. I think it's an opportunity for companies to kind of re-envision how funding should happen. I think it's an opportunity for the corporate sector, which has traditionally been not very active, to become more active. I think it's an opportunity for entities like Fulton Bank to do more than we're doing. And it's an opportunity for foundations in some respects to reimagine how they do something. So that's going to create some short-term turbulence, but it is an opportunity for long-term potential in terms of how funding happens in the innovation ecosystems.
I love the juxtaposition, with a lot of problems does come a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, it's you see here today, there's over 1,000 companies up here. I mean, some of the greatest solutions to healthcare is sitting probably in this room somewhere. But we got to figure out ways to get it to market. And so I think that there are ways. I don't know what the definition of short term is going to be. But like you just said, with some of that turbulence comes opportunity. But I think some entities are going to have to step up. It hasn't happened yet, but I think it will create a gap. And as we've seen for hundreds of years, something somehow is going to step in and fill that gap. We just need that to happen. And we need states to start thinking differently. Obviously, the amount of federal research that flows through for example, the state of Maryland is not going to be there, so the state is going to have to be thinking differently. But it is an opportunity to think differently. I think that's kind of if you're a life science company and you're doing R&D, I mean, your product is popular because you figure out a way to think differently. And so for those of us that are trying to figure out how to survive in 25 and in 26, I think the key is think differently.
And we're here today. You mentioned about 1,000 companies here today, the TEDCO Expo. How important is building that community and the partnerships that are out there? Maybe talk about how you and TEDCO partner or another organization that partner to help out.
I'll hit on your first thing first. An old mentor of mine said the most dangerous place to view the world is behind a desk.
Yeah.
And I think Maryland sometimes suffers like, hey, we don't have funding like Silicon Valley or Boston. But what we do have is tremendous resources and tremendous networks. So I was on the panel earlier, and I think that was probably one of the most important things that I could tell these companies is that it is important to have a network. I was sitting in a room where I probably could have taken a company that has an idea based off of a napkin, it's written on the back of a napkin, and found a resource with the Maryland Department of Commerce, Prince George's County Economic Development, early stage funder like Conscious Venture Labs, an existing founder who's going through it like Liz Copeland with Basically, and then come back to entities like Fulton Bank and really create a pathway of support just within the people in that room. And so, an event like this helps companies create this network that they're going to have to rely on, even when things are good. I mean, we had a couple of companies in the portfolio, $40 million in DARPA funding, all of a sudden cut off just like that. Another company in our portfolio had $26 million of funding that's supposed to exist that could run with you 2027. The investor ran out of money. So the company's going to have to learn to pivot, and it's the network that they're going to have, that they have established, that they can turn to help them do that pivot. So events like this, absolutely critical and important. And TEDCO partnership, absolutely essential. They are typically early stage dollars in, and states and regions need companies that are those first dollars in, because that enables them entities like Fulton Bank to come from behind. So we partner with TEDCO. Probably 80% of my portfolio is TEDCO based. So we're working with the CEO on some later stage funding opportunities that maybe we can announce later at some point in 2026. We are and then bringing companies to them, they're bringing companies to us, and so we really have a robust partnership, not only with them, but the state is much better off because of TEDCO exists to really stimulate and catalyze the innovation ecosystem.
We appreciate all your leadership, Bret, and being here today, making those connections, because entrepreneurs need those connectors as well. So thank you for all you do and your leadership.
Always a pleasure, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. My name is Chris Frew with BioBuzz Networks, reporting today live at the 2025 TEDCO Expo. Thank you.